Okay, so our next demo is Teachley, and this is Kara.
Hi there, my name is Kara Carpenter, and I am here in sort of two modes. One, I am finishing up my PhD at Teachers College, working on sort of developing math software with them. I also, on the side, have sort of started an educational technology company called Teachley with a couple of my sort of colleagues. And what we're doing at Teachley is sort of trying to develop sort of research-infused math apps for kids. And I'm going to be telling you a little bit about our first product, which is something that deals with our content, research-infused. I know this is a lot of information, but we're basically looking at single-digit addition for our first app. And basically, we're really interested in strategy and sort of meta-strategic thinking. And basically, kids who are good at math follow one strategy trajectory, and kids who are eventually do poorly in math follow a very different strategy trajectory. So for instance, they will count all starting from 1 to 2 years longer than their classmates. They eventually do learn to count on, but then all of this derived facts strategy, which in solving 3 plus 4 is knowing, hey, I know 3 and 3 is 6, so 3 and 4 must be related to that. That's something that kids who struggle don't ever do, and so when their memory fails, which it does because they're typically kids who do poorly in math also have poor memory, they sort of have to go back, their backup is to count on their fingers. And so this is sort of the content area that we are addressing. So I'm just going to show you, we're doing component testing right now, so it's not fancy menus. This isn't what it will actually look like. But we have a speed round, which is sort of to encourage memorization. There's this whole backstory about, you know, a possum who has sort of stolen these addition blocks, and you don't need to know the whole backstory, but basically we're working with, there's some fun sort of, you know, the game mechanic of sort of this, there's this timing, but we also have these hints that come up. This is a mole character, and he sort of likes to steal the zeros. Our audio isn't complete, but then I can, you know, oh, I got that one. Correct. And then you, each hint is sort of based on the problems that are associated with it. So this is a count on.
Hold on to the bigger number, then count on.
You know, obviously we're still working on the spacing of the double-digit numbers. This one will probably have a little bit better spacing.
Hold on to the bigger number, then count on.
You know, and then I can say, oh, well, that's 11. You know, or what we can do is actually, you know, you can answer sort of immediately. Or you don't have to rely on the hints, and it's actually quite fast in terms of gameplay if kids are not using those hints, and they can just sort of work through like that. So that's sort of a speed round at just the beginning of, I think the speed round should finish up pretty soon. Let me do a couple more. Yeah, okay. So that's sort of one aspect of it, and then we also have these tools that basically the tools let you sort of see these different strategies that you want to be using. So I'm actually going to turn down the volume a little bit. So this particular problem, 8 and 8, I can use this tens tool, which is sort of a 10 block, and I can think about it as, oh, I see the 8 and then the 2, and then there's 6 left over, and so I can see the connection in terms of this being sort of the answer being 16. Oh. This is a sliding mechanism that we're playing around with a little bit and seeing whether or not kids can do that. And then we can sort of, again, I'm getting problems that just have this tens tool associated with them. But I can sort of see that, and then slide in and answer. And this is definitely more sort of practice-y. Oh, I keep getting my doubles.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully in a little bit I'll get one that has some other aspects to it.
18. On to the tool round.
Okay. Let me sort of blank out for a second. Oops. And I'll use one of the other rounds. And again, this is all in development still. So we're doing some research with kids. Actually, let me just go back to my presentation. If I can show this cute video of this sort of kids thinking real quickly. Oops. Back here. This video was playing a second ago.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I don't have to press it. Yeah. Oh, is it frozen? Oh, it's good for you. It's frozen for me. This is a double stool that he just used. And you can see sort of an example of this sort of duration that's sort of happening. You know, so I don't know if you saw that, but this is like using the doubles tool, which is another tool that we developed, and basically he's able to sort of see this connection between 2 and 3, and when you use the tool, it's like a boomerang and cut it off, he's able to sort of see that that strategy of, oh, I know 2 and 2, so what is 2 plus 3, and sort of really sort of working through that through these tools. Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Any comments? Hang on a second. Some people can.
Yeah, when do we plan on finishing? So basically, in terms of releasing, we are working on basically releasing the speed round plus a little bit of progress monitoring that we keep track of on the addition chart like this. Releasing that sometime in March, and then sort of adding in the sort of the tools and the lessons as we work through them. But this is sort of a version that we did some initial research with this fall. I worked with about 15 kids, and we saw some really, after just 3 sessions, they were really increasing their fluency of how quickly they were working, as well as some really interesting, statistically significant strategy trajectories of kids, first graders, only 8 of them, but they were significantly more likely to be counting on at post-test, and then actually second and third graders were significantly less likely to be counting on, so they were sort of transitioning away from that strategy towards a more efficient one, so it's promising.
And are you guys, how are you introducing the strategies?
We also have these lessons. I don't know, like each of those buttons at the bottom has a character that goes around with it. So there's this frog character that basically, she is the count on character, and she swallows the smaller block, and then she spits them out one by one. There's the sloth, who is the count all sort of character, and then we've got this monkey who has all these different tools, and she's basically derived facts. Yeah.
Any other comments, thoughts?
Yeah.
Were you able to do a follow-up after the post-test to see what stuck?
To see
what.
what.
6 weeks and you come back and see if the strategies advancing and stuff?
No, I mean, it was a really short scale. We have an SBIR grant from IES, and basically within a 6-month period, you're sort of developing a prototype and doing research and doing everything else. So not in the way that I would like, but that's definitely a component of the next phase of the research, is to do that kind of transfer out. Preparation for future learning. I love that. Yeah.
So lasers? Or
Yeah, definitely lasers. Keeping in mind that this is still prototype.
Do you want to frame the question for the lasers?
I guess the question for the lasers is just, does this seem like something that would be sort of an engaging, we're seeing it in sort of the classroom market that's definitely intended primarily for classrooms, but is this something that you would want to see in your first and second grade classrooms? Thank you.
Gotcha.
Looks like a solid 8.